Hi Andy, thank you so much for talking to us. Welcome to India first of all, and how has your experience been so far in India?
It's been absolutely fantastic. I've had a little tour of India, been in three main centres, Bhubaneswar, Chennai and finally in Mumbai. Thoroughly enjoyed my time over here and hopefully I've been able to help out the coaches and athletes in the world of pole vault in India.
And if you can throw some light on the workshops that you're doing here, what is those workshops basically? What are the curriculum? What are the coaches being taught, the students being taught?
The main thing, pole vaulting is quite an unusual sport, but it's made up of three components: the run-up, the take-off, and then the bit on the pole where you go upside down. We call that the gymnastic part of the vault. So those are the three main components I've been talking about.
And you have been watching the game over a span of a lot of years now. You have been playing for what 1986 and now it's 2024. What is the stark difference you see in the sport between that time and today's time?
Well, yeah, I've been in the world of pole vault for over 40 years. Things haven't changed that much, to be honest. The poles that we were using back when I started, very similar. I think one of the main things that has happened is the athletes have in general got better, faster, stronger. That's not to say some of the athletes back in the 80s weren't fast and strong. We had the days of Sergei Bubka back in the 80s, one of the best pole vaulters ever. There were some really good athletes back in the day, but I think there's more and more people now who are hitting the higher levels.
And Andy, in a country like India where cricket is a very heavy sport, how do you encourage kids into individual sports like pole vault?
Yeah, it's a long way from playing cricket. Having played a tiny bit of cricket when I was very young. Pole vaulting is slightly different, but kids can adapt to anything. Yeah, I would always encourage people to have a go at all different sports when they're young, and then you'll find the one that drives your passion for doing something outside the world of work and school. I got into pole vaulting having done lots of different things, lots of different events in athletics. So I was running, I was high jumping, I was doing cross-country running. So pole vaulting wasn't the first thing I tried. So I would encourage people to have a go. But once you've had a go at pole vaulting, it does hook you in because it's very exciting. There's not a lot of sport, not many sports out there where you can throw yourself in the air upside down and literally fly through the air.
Andy, what are the basic and the necessary skills that a kid needs to develop to get into pole vault?
We always look for kids that have got the ability to run fast. Obviously things like strength can be worked on in the gymnasium, in the weights room, body weight exercises, but one of the key factors to be a good pole vaulter is you've got to be fearless. So that's the ideal combination. So someone who's very active, very quick, but likes a bit of a challenge.
And in an individual sport, how important is the coach's role? Not just the skills of the game, but also pressure handling and the mental preparation before the game.
Coaching is vitally important. It's a very technical event, so it's very important in the early stages of vaulting that you get the right direction from a coach, and then it's just a question of developing the drills, making them a bit harder, and once you've mastered the basics, it's getting faster and stronger. As you get higher and higher, the mental game does come into it. At the end of the day, you've got to throw yourself up there, and potentially, if you get it wrong, it can hurt. It does take a certain type of character to persevere with the event. But at the end of the day, it's fun.
And can you throw some light on your relationship with the Reliance Foundation, the work that you two have been doing together for the sport?
Well, I'm grateful for the invite out to India, supported by the Reliance Foundation. I was very keen. A friend from university invited me out here to sort of try and do something in the pole vault world. Yes, they've been very supportive to get me out here, so I'm going to try and do my best to impart all the knowledge I've got over the last 40 years and pass that on to the coaches here, so they can then develop young pole vaulters and get them up to international standard.
How are the athletic facilities you saw in Bhubaneswar for the kids?
The facilities in Bhubaneswar are out of this world. In terms of for pole vaulting, they've got an indoor facility, normal outdoor facility, but they've also got the backup with physios and therapy, and they've got a gymnastics centre there because pole vaulting is a gymnastic event. So having access to a good gymnasium, proper gymnasium with high bar, rings, etc., is very important as part of a training program. So they've actually got all that all on one site, and the whole team that supports the athletes. That's how you develop really, really good athletes. If you provide facilities, provide coaching, but also provide the essential backup, because athletes put themselves through a lot in the gym and on the track, and sometimes they need to be mended, and they've got a fantastic team to keep everyone active.
Finally, do you see a lot of potential for the sport in India?
Well, in India, I see a massive talent pool of athletic people, but it does need good coaching to turn that talent into really good athletes, especially in technical events. But the main thing is to find the talented athletes and then try and work with them and coach them how to do, which is on paper a very difficult event. But if you break it down, virtually everybody can do it with the right coaching and the right environment.
Thank you so much, Andy, for talking to us.